Hey guys, I'm Elijah. This is my first video, and today we're talking about Modern Warfare Zombies. Today, we're diving into the new MW3 game mode, or Modern Warfare Zombies, which is a lot like Outbreak or DMZ if you've ever played either of those game modes. Today, we'll be talking about both the pros and the cons of the new Zombies game mode, and if the game mode is actually good and worth your money. So let's get started. There's a lot of pros to this game mode that come to mind right away. The first is the replayability, which is a much needed thing in any game. If you haven't played this new form of zombies yet, it is an extraction shooter in which you're dropped down into an open world full of mercenaries, zombies, missions, bosses, and more. You will work with your team and complete missions to get even stronger items and weapons, and then extract so the next game you get stronger. The randomized nature of the zombie spawns and map elements consisting of fun missions lead to a different game experience every time. Which leads us to our next pro, the missions. The missions don't actually feel like tasks, as they are very rewarding and don't take long at all. There are many different missions that are fun, and my favorite being the bounty kill mission, in which you will take down a boss zombie. The variety of missions is great, and the loot you receive makes it so worth it. If you do missions in tier 2, you'll typically get better rewards than you would in tier 1 missions. And the same thing with doing tier 3 missions. The game actually rewards you for doing good and punishes you for dying, which I love. The pack-a-punch system is the next pro, as it creates a good power scaling you can work towards for each tier. The pack-a-punch system works great in each tier zone, as you can only pack-a-punch as far as your tier is. If you are in a tier 3 zone, you can get the tier 3 pack-a-punched weapon, whereas if you're in a tier 1 zone, you can only get the tier 1 pack-a-punched weapon, which makes the progression of the game feel great. These next couple of pros I will breeze through very quickly, as they are not nearly as impactful as the past ones. The other pros are the story integration, which helps zombies have a narrative component which offers players progress as you progress through missions. The customization, which gives the players chances to acquire new skills, perks, and loadouts. The map design, which is actually a good map compared to the past COD zombies, and it is very big. And lastly, the cooperative play component, which allows for a fun experience with friends that has yet to be dull to me. Now, let's take a look at some of the cons. The first one that comes to mind is the learning curve. If you've never played DMZ or Outbreak before. I personally had never played an extraction shooter, and I didn't have very much direction on my very first game. After watching a video or two, I was able to figure it all out pretty easily. The next con is the dependency of teammates. While cooperative play is a strength, it can also be a weakness, as a lot of missions can be very difficult by yourself, as you will simply be overran if you're not properly prepared. The next is the difficulty spikes of each tier in the map. Tier 1 to tier 2 wasn't bad if you understand what you're doing. You're able to get a pack-punch gun and go to tier 2 without too much trouble. However, tier 2 to tier 3 makes the game so unbelievably hard. Me and my friends spend hours trying to extract after being in tier 3, losing our gear and dying every single time. The zombies in tier 3 are all scaled to round 55 plus from the original zombies, which makes them super hard to kill, fast, and heavily armored. As though this can be seen as a plus since it adds difficulty, you will really need to have a good team and know what you're doing to be able to beat some of the tier 3 bosses. That's all I have for pros and cons, as I've actually really been enjoying this new zombies game mode as soon as I figured out what I was doing. For my final thought, overall in this game I've had a really good time. I've really enjoyed this new game mode and found it to be a fresh experience with friends. There aren't too many open world cooperative zombie games that are still relevant today, so this was a breath of fresh air for me personally. I really like the extraction shooter aspect of the progression you have throughout playing. I do wish you were able to bring in a squad of 4 instead of 3 like the good old days, but that's something that isn't too big of a deal. The game might need to have a lobby for only solo players as well, so that the difficulty has been scaled down and you would be able to play by yourself and not have to rely on randoms whenever you play. But if you have friends, yes, it's perfect. Overall, I do believe the game is worth it, and I do think you should get on here and give it a shot with some of your friends. It's definitely one of the best games that has come out, especially from Treyarch in a long time, or Activision in a long time, as the past few CODs have been very, very bad. This one is a breath of fresh air. It actually feels very nice. The sliding's back. Everything feels good. Anyways, thank you all for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below which video you would like to see next, and see you all in the next video.